on our way today, Father. I lift up all the folks who are suffering from illness and things of that nature at this time, dear Father. I ask you to please let your healing work through the doctors and nurses that work through these people, that work with these people, dear Father. Dear Father, I thank you for the opportunity we have to work and serve our city at this time. And I pray for each council member here tonight, dear Father. I pray that everything that is done and said, that we use it and do it to honor and glorify you and to help and support the citizens of this great city. All this I beg in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Nothing but you
Pledge allegiance
to the flag
and the wilderness for miles. Just remember, you're the boss. Steel MS-271 Farm Boss. Built
We've got, I think, one council member's out on business and another council member may be on the weather a little bit. Seems to be a lot of that being a problem right now in the community and the school and different things. So we need to remember them, probably like Eddie, that they get over this sickness and we get business back to usual. The first item on the agenda is approve the council minutes for January 4th, 2022 council meeting. If nobody's got any questions or comments how those minutes are written, I need to ask for a motion to approve them.
Make a motion.
Second. James, all in favor?
Aye.
Next item on the agenda is the sealed bids for the surplus scrap metal from the debris from the storm that we had.
Here's what
Did you get the release from the property owner?
Yes, I did. I got it. I haven't turned it in. I've got it in the truck. We got a release from Boyd Pate, Jason Merchant, Strickland Carpets, and Spann Real Estate is who we got the releases from. Of course, anything else was already property, probably of the city. There's going to be there's 4 items. Item number 1 was a metal tower, approximately 37 foot in height. Item number 2 is a Christmas tree frame that was up here on the hill. Item number 3 is 3 cast iron cantilever arms that was used to hold the stop lights here, traffic lights. And item number 4 is all the roofing material and debris with that was blown from the buildings. We asked that they be marked on the envelopes here, what they asked, what they were bidding for. Looks like we've got, they're all got items and different ones that's marked. The first item's the first bid that we're opening is for it looks like it's for the Christmas tree frame. It's from Rusty Barnes. Rusty for the Christmas tree bids $352.99. $352.99. And that's the only thing that he's bid for out in that.
The Daniel Hartley School of Bidding, Abby.
The next one is for the scrap iron. I don't have a name on the outside. Let me see if I've got a name on the inside. Yeah, kind of stuff and posted. This from Steve Fair. It's actually for the Christmas tree. It's $238. $238 from Steve Fair for the Christmas tree. This one shows to be a bid for the tower. By the way, the tower is a two-way communication tower that's set here behind the police department. It actually, it's the one that caused damage to about 5 of our patrol vehicles when it fell across back here in Linden. This one's from Tommy Knight, bid for the tower. $77. I guess it's a 77 points, so that'd be $77.
There we go.
And Tommy 9. Tommy probably got sentimental value with that tower. That's the only thing that he bid on in that envelope. The next one, from item number 2, is from Ben Boyette. Christmas tree frame, Ben bids $102.35. $102.35 for the Christmas tree frame. Item number 1, the metal tower. Ben Boyette bid on the tower. You add a new whole meaning to the word sealer. Metal tower is $51.51 is what Ben's bid is on the metal two-way tower. $51.51. All right, the next one is from Nikki Moore on item number 4. Which is all the roofing and related debris. $489.80. $489.80 for the metal roofing. All right, looks like Nikki Moore bid on item number 3, which is 3 cast iron cantilever pole arms off for the traffic light. $109. $109. Nikki's bid on item number 2, which is a Christmas tree frame. $145. $145. And then item number 1, same person, Nikki Moore, which is a metal tower, 37-foot tower, $60. $60 for the tower. That's all the bids that we've received on the debris and the material and the tower and the arms, cantilever arms. And looks like the high bid on the Christmas tree is going to be the $352.99. And then on the tower, looks like Tommy Knight has got the high bid on the metal tower for $77. And then the only bid that we had on the metal was Nikki Moore at $489.80. And then the only bid that we had on the cantilever arms was Nikki Moore for $109.
Now I'm gonna cut some down, prepared scrap. There's labor involved in it. He's not gonna have much left. It's like just right here, by the time he gets the wood out of there, he's not gonna have much left.
Based on the bids that we got, it's my recommendation to the council that we take the high bids on each one of the items and let them get it. Because there's been several people ask about the Christmas tree frame. I've got a motion from James to take the high bid and a second from Eddie. All in favor? All right, the next item on the agenda is the surplus garbage truck. Mike, you got some information for us on that garbage truck?
Yes, there's a 2007 Sterling. It's what's used previously for dumpster pickup at businesses. The new garbage truck that was put into service about a week and a half ago replaced this 2007 Sterling, and Rob has requested that we surplus the Sterling truck.
If the council so see that rules to surplus this truck, I make a recommendation that we put it on Gov Deals and let it run for 30 days or so. I guess I need to ask for a motion to surplus the 2007 garbage truck, declare it surplus.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Okay, if you will, Mike, take,
Two weeks is about what they recommend on
Okay.
Gov Deals. You wanna go with that?
that's fine. 2 weeks is fine. We'll open it to next.
Councilman.
Yeah. Have we been running it in the paper as well, or just Gov Deals, or we want to do both?
If you do Gov Deals and you put a reserve and you meet, somebody bids that amount or more, you have to let it go to Gov Deals.
Okay.
So you could do it local, but if you got a better bid on local, but you make reserve on Gov Deals, you're still committed to Gov Deals.
All right.
But I'd probably say do Gov Deals first. If you
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say,
reserve.
because
Go back to the
we've
second
had
line.
really good luck, with selling on Gov Deals on different items that we've put on there, and I think that we need to probably stick with that. Just go ahead and set it up, I guess, for two weeks.
Okay, what Gov Deals has told us is mainly northern cities are constantly in the market for southern garbage trucks. And that may be where market comes from.
That's a pre-emission engine too, which is a
Yeah.
little bit more valuable.
All right, next item on the agenda is the, American, Rescue Funds. We talked about this funds, using this funds for us. We've had some discussion about, what we're using this, had thought about or had checked on getting bids and maybe using the money, and the council has showed an interest, some council members showed an interest as to paying the employees X amount of dollars during working during COVID with this money. We're constantly learning more and more about it, about the fund, the use of the funds, which NACOG, their meeting Monday, they're going to go into details with it, but we've got some guidelines here that's pretty much explains what it can be used for, and it's kind of set a dollar amount to where the way me and Mike has looked at it and understand it is the dollar amount that they have set is a $10 million mark. Up to $10 million is pretty much can go into municipal use pretty much out of the general fund. Is that the way we understand it, Mike?
Yes, sir.
So that's what I passed around. James has looked at it and read over it and seen the same thing, and where there's only accountabilities one time in April the 1st. So they've kind of lightened up. According to what we're reading, they've lightened up on for us what it can be used for up to a certain dollar amount, which we're not going to reach the $10 million part. We're going to get what, 1.1 or one, I guess it's a little over 1.1 million, I think is what we're going to totally get. And I've said before that I don't like saying that we've got it until we get it, but I've pretty much got confirmation that we're going to get the other $650,000, which we've already received $500,000 last May. I've learned this past week between the last council meeting and now that we will be probably getting the other 650,000 sent to us. So we're gonna be a little over 1.1 million is what we'll be getting out of the total amount.
They raised it.
Well, it was already, it was that to start with. It started out as it was 1 million, but it actually, when the figures figured, it was 500 first time, 650 the second time. That being said, that a little more and being a little more lenient as how the money can be spent, I went ahead and got, because I was wanting to do the cost estimates of what we'd already had been looking at. I've got cost estimates on the HVAC systems and on our water booster stations, which Todd, you might James had mentioned to me prior to the meeting that he kind of wasn't sure if we would meet the qualifications for his water and sewer because it's not city owned. I think it's pretty much was a question that James had about that.
It states public,
Huh?
it states public on water and sewer and sewer.
Well, that's a public entity.
Mhm.
This is a public entity. It's not city owned, but it's a public entity. That's the difference. The distinction is city owned is actually the city owns and operates it versus a separate corporation set up by the city. But it is a public entity, and is all the laws and requirements of public entities of the city, it has to comply with them as well. So now, having not looked any further than that, I don't know that it will, but that is technically a public entity. I'm not saying that means it qualifies.
I think technically, and I'm just assuming that the best way for us to do that, if we're gonna do the pumping station, is to grant the money to the water department to do it, which we can do that.
I'm looking for an email here. I thought I had printed it. You can give me just a second with this. All right. The cost estimate on our HVAC replacements. These are just estimated costs. The total 3 HVACs replaced at City Hall, the storm shelter relocation and replacement, and then 2 HVAC systems at the fire station.
That's the way it's doing. I would say, yeah, that qualifies.
The total estimate on that's $121,000. And for the community center on the sewer system, to fix that problem that we have there, the cost estimate's $41,700. At the community center, the problem that we've got there is $41,000. And then on the what you're talking about on the water, the booster station on Smith Road, County Road 54, line upgrade and water booster station. That total with the Ember Drive pump station, the Ember Drive is the lesser of the expense of the two. Is the pump, the booster pump itself is cost estimate's $40,000 each. The total of those two combined projects with about 9,000 feet of 6-inch pipe, the fittings and 100 ton to refill. The total estimate on those two projects is $372,000 on the two booster pumps. I believe that's the only projects that we have been talking about was the HVAC system. But we had talked with Gina, she's not here, about she's still working on prices on the stuff that she was needing for the library, which I think is a very minimum, gonna be a very minimum, below a $20,000 cost estimate.
Put 30 on there.
Yeah.
That's got $564,700.
And the proposal that I think that y'all had worked up for as the employee, 18 and 800, part-time, 18 full-time. Wasn't that a cost estimate of about 80,000?
8,800.
Yeah. So, I mean, I feel like that there's a lot of stuff now that Mike, and since this has come out, there's a lot of things, other things that we could use it for that was in question, and in question is whether or not we could. I think we can look over it and see if there's anything else that we want to include, but as far as at the community center, we'd like to see maybe a fresh air type system put in the ceiling in that community center. I don't know what the cost estimate of that would be. Y'all haven't got any kind of cost estimate.
Well, you know, one thing you can do at the park, and they're real big on outdoor activities, the pickleball court and the track and the walking trail.
We can include those. What about tennis court too, maybe?
Yep. Outdoor activities is a big push.
Mhm.
So, you know, it's wide open over there.
I mean, I'm glad it's a lot clearer now as far as what the money can be. You know, there's no question really. I don't think, according to these guidelines that we've got here, that I think we're going to be well within our guidelines of what we're going to do.
I mean, I know for a fact that one city, North Alabama, is spending about $10 million on fire trucks. I don't know how, $11 million on parks, $10 million on fire trucks.
They're not gonna get many for that.
17. You know the exact number? But they're getting $34 million.
That's a big difference what you can do with that. I mean,
It's substantial.
just glad we're getting what we're getting and having an understanding how we expend it. What y'all wrote the figures down as I was calling them out. What was our total?
$655,500.
So we still, I think we've spent probably 20,000, about that 20,000 of the first 500. We've got about 480,000.
489,794.
Yeah, left of the first 500. So, I mean, it's my recommendation to the council that what we've got in the time that we spent on these HVAC units and the legwork that we've had engineering do at the community center and different things, and the work that y'all have done for us moving forward with maybe compensating the workers, the way you had that figured, that'll still give us nearly right at $500,000 that we can add projects to and still be able to complete what we've already got started and still have the 500. I'd like to, for the council, let's move forward with what we have started for as engineering and different things. I mean, we know that these things has to be done. We've got to have HVAC. We've got to have the sewer fixed. We know we got to have those things, and go ahead and include the, what the package that you're wanting to do for the employees, include that with it. And then let's have maybe a work session to see what we want to do with the other $500,000. I mean, that's my spiel on it. And if the council's got any.
Are any of these projects, any of the things that are listed here, has any work been done, any money been spent on these so far?
Mm-mm. No, not in what these prices that I've got you.
Okay.
Now, you see that's got, they may be I think they might be
We did some sewer.
HVAC system added to the center building
I was
here.
gonna make sure that was,
Did we get a cost estimate on that?
We did, you can run, check an email and see what it is.
I won't think it was, I remember it seemed like you given me an amount on it, but I won't think it's around
Let me try to
14.
get you a definite.
Yeah.
estimate.
Oh,
I think a while ago, it's 25,000.
well, I
I
don't
thought it
think,
was like 22.8.
I think it's about 22,000. You know, talking about stuff that can be done at tennis courts and the tracks and different things. Gina's been doing some legwork trying to get together some prices and stuff on that. And that's why I think that we can maybe have a work session or talk about how we can spend the other monies that will be left. We've got several things that we can, which we've got some marked in our book here, that's allowed to do it. And some of this was in question as well, not, would qualify or wouldn't qualify, but of course, Alan and them has talked about wanting, which this, it would qualify, they've talked about wanting a exhaust system inside the building for when they start those trucks to pull the exhaust out of there. That might be something that we want to consider. Gina has learned that there's actually some grant money that's available that ADECA has that can help with the tennis courts at the park. We need to,
Well, if you get a grant from them, you can't mix any of our money up on that particular project.
right, that's what I'm saying is we might want to consider whether to use that money versus the money that she's looked at is not actually for tennis court, but she's got some prices for tennis court, but ADECA actually is willing to pay 50% of a splash pad. You know, that'd be something that we might want to consider outside that money.
We'll have to review that splash pad.
Sorry. We've got right here, you know, of course, we're fixing to be released on our CDBG grant on Regal. We'll be able to apply for another CBDG grant. We're in good standings to get one, get another grant, and I would like for us to move forward, which I talked with Keith Jones and them this week about it, moving forward with our demolition of the 30 houses, nearly 30 dwellings.
Include what's below the house.
Yeah, we can get everything included in it. Hopefully, the more the better. The last couple of times when we did it, we didn't. They actually thought it should have been more than what it was. But I think that we've got plenty of projects. It's just a matter of deciding which ones we want to do with the remaining part of the money. But I think we need to move forward because it takes a little bit to get these estimates and cost estimates, which I put this out for bid, just to put this out for bid at the park because that was an emergency type issue that needs to be took care of, as well as the HVAC system. Everybody knows that I don't know if Eddie looked at that we had a kind of emergency situation at the library.
The park's out for bid. Due back next Friday at 2. 2 o'clock.
Mayor, 22,000 on the NYA building, HVAC.
Well, she's been taking her medicine. She said 22.
Yeah, she's right on it. And that includes ductwork
Imagine that.
and the units. That's not just new units.
Right.
So that building was window unit air conditioner prior. So this should be new ductwork through the ceiling. So from start to finish.
Just a minute.
Is the council okay with moving forward with what we've got in place here, seeing what the total is going to be in the neighborhood of 650,000, I guess, total? Moving forward with the HVACs and the projects that we got And then, the $80,000, dollars back to the employees, for the 1,600 for the full-time, 800 paid out over the way James had it figured over $10 an hour or 40-hour work week. Is that right? And if the council's got any more discussion, that's my recommendation to the council. I mean, I'd like to ask for a motion to move forward with those.
I'll make a motion.
Say, all in favor? Okay, and then, be thinking about what we want to do with this other, money that we've got, that will be here, within the next month or two. I think it's the way we're doing it's a very wise way of doing it to, help keep our finances in place. We're doing work that has to be done anyway, and we're upgrading to where we can meet the requirements. You got that. All right, the next item on the agenda is old business. We'll start over here with Gina, if you.
One of the things that I have is, we have mentioned this before, about an application process for the Board of Education. And we have one, everybody has a copy of it, because the terms run from June to June, so every April is when the next seat comes up. So what I would like to do is make this available as of February 1st, which that gives us a week. Let's see. Well, actually, that'll be the next council, will be February 1st. To let everybody look over it to make sure, to see if anybody wants to add anything to it. And then make it available February 1st for anyone to come by City Hall and pick up an application.
Do we have the ability to put this out for online?
We can.
It's a lot cleaner.
Actually, there's ways to put it online and have them fill it out online and digitally sign it and submit it back.
Yes.
There are ways to do it.
Well, we could do it both ways, because somebody actually wants,
They print out, sign from
yeah.
them.
Hand that to Todd, so we know where it came from. Because that's very
That's what I did.
Well, no, the one that you had was
Oh.
this one. Yeah.
This is the opioid, it has the resolution in front of it, so you probably should have took action on it.
You know what the next one is? I don't think that's-
We're already doing that.
No.
We've already started that. with all our last two, I think.
What have you done for starting?
We require them to have an evaluation. They have to have it.
Insurance?
Yes, they're
Yeah, but
requiring
you're
it
looking
before
just
you
part
start,
down here,
yeah,
what you're,
right.
is that something we need to take action on, Todd, for doing that application process?
I'm looking at I'm looking at this application here, and it's,
Want the copy from the other?
and the only difference is one of them has just been printed in Winfield. Okay. Has,
I just wanted you to see where it came from.
okay, just for understanding purposes, has the board, the current Board of Education, have they looked at this or seen this or have any input on these guidelines or application procedures?
No, I haven't showed it to them yet because I wanted to show it to the council first.
Okay.
I think they meet Monday, Tuesday.
Whatever the 24th is. Monday.
Yeah, Monday.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, and I think it's a good way to put that out there and get information about people that might be interested in serving on that board. I'm a big proponent of communication, so I'd like for us to communicate with the city, to communicate with the board, and let them have some input into this, and make sure that we're all on the same sheet of music, because I think that promotes a better working relationship. But I don't necessarily think it requires us to take action, Mayor, because we just agree that, we're posting this as an application process, and we'll communicate with the board, and if the board has any input, we'll make decisions when we agree to a finalized version of it. Then we might to take action to post it on the website. But as far as tonight, and it's communicating with the board, I think it's just discussion. If we're gonna submit it to the board, talk to them, let a member of the council talk to them and see what they think, and then we'll go forward after that. But I don't think it requires action tonight unless you just want to post it immediately.
Was this application put together by the board?
No.
I mean, just for example here, they only require current and previous employer. That's not going back deep enough on work history.
Well, that's why I did it, and that way we could kind of go through it, and I didn't know if we needed to have a work session to discuss it, to make any changes. Because this was kind of pulled from another council.
I would need to go back past 30 years.
This was just kind of something to start with, because we called a couple of different areas, and this was just one of the two that I got.
My thought about Eddie's comment there would be an employment history based on number of years, not number of employers, because you could have your last two employers could have been, one is 2.5 years, another's 27
Exactly
years.
right.
And that's just two employers, but some other person could be two employers, could be 9 months.
Right.
So an employment number of years gives you a little bit better picture than just,
By
so things
standard-
like that.
By
Yeah.
standards, about 10 years.
Yeah, so I mean, I think things like that give you a whole lot more
Yes.
information about background of a person. And so, things like that need to be, and I agree with Gina over here, that would be great, and maybe include the Board of Education in the work session, and just say, hey, let's go through this, we think this is a good idea, and have input, and we all get together and say, yeah, that's what we want to do, and we do it. So, I think that's a good idea. We can talk those things out.
Move forward that way. Can you have the whole school board here during the work session?
Yeah, they would have to advertise it. I mean, our work session would be open to the public. They'd have to advertise it as a special called school board meeting. If there's more than a quorum of them here, they would have to do that. But I mean, yeah, we could do that and let them advertise the meeting too, and it's a public meeting. It's just a joint public meeting, but as long as we've advertised it and we're public and they've advertised it that that's a special called meeting of the board, then we're fine, a meeting together, even if they have the whole group here. We're fine doing that.
You want to try to arrange that?
I go to the meeting on Monday.
Try to arrange that meeting for a work session, I think would be the best way. For moving forward with posting it. We can give us time to look over this application, see, if there's any different things we want to add or check away from it. We'll be prepared for the work session. Who's got?
That was all that I.
You got any old business from the last meeting, Ed? No, sir. James?
Actually, I did speak with Warren Ballard, and I haven't checked, but he assured me he still wants to do the job, and he's got somebody to run equipment. And as soon as the weather, we were hoping to have equipment over there by this week, but it had rained since last Wednesday when I talked to him. But he has got a separate operator that's gonna be doing equipment work, and
Kind of hang loose and see how it goes for the next month or so. See
I
what the
mean, the
weather.
weather, I realize it's been going on, and part of the problem, part of the delays have been in the weather. For one thing right now, if you cut that entrance in and it stays 22 degrees, you're not gonna put any asphalt on it.
No, it's,
Well, they're not gonna make any.
we're at the point now where it's going to have to, the weather's gonna have to, it's probably gonna be at least a 3 or 4 week, 5 week, 6 week before we can do anything.
The biggest snow I ever saw came in March. Not that we have that many. I have, I asked her to put something on the agenda for the 15th.
Yeah, but is that all the old business you got?
That's-
I got a, which I don't, this opioid case, I don't know how far back that's been, but we had a law firm, Todd can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's a, would it be considered a class action lawsuit?
It was either a class action, a multi-party, or multi-district litigation type matter, yeah. And the state of Alabama was a party to it, and we signed on with the state of Alabama, so we were a party to it.
I need to, I've let Todd look at it. He told that this firm that's doing this, that we signed on with, has asked us to pass a resolution going ahead and let them move forward with the city of Winfield being involved as a partner, not a partner, but involved with this lawsuit, opioid lawsuit. And I need to ask the council to pass this resolution, which we're gonna call it resolution next, because I don't know what the next resolution number is. But it's authorizing the city of Winfield, Alabama, to join the state of Alabama and other local governments as participants in they call it the ENDO settlement, ENDO settlement. Whereas the opioid epidemic continues to impact communities in the United States, the state of Alabama, the city of Winfield, whereas the city of Winfield has suffered harm and will continue to suffer harm as a result of the opioid epidemic. State of Alabama and some Alabama local governments have filed lawsuits against opioid manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. It's called opioid litigation. Whereas State of Alabama has entered into a settlement agreement with its ENDO Health Solutions Incorporated, the Endo Pharmaceuticals Incorporated, which includes the claims of the State of Alabama local governments and the City of Winfield, finds the terms of the settled agreement acceptable and in the best interest of the community. Whereas State of Alabama has proposed an Endo settlement sign-on agreement to the local governments and the City of Winfield, Alabama finds the terms of the sign-on agreement acceptable and in the best interest of the community. Whereas the settlement agreement and sign-on agreement detail all allocation of settlement funds which the City of Winfield, Alabama finds acceptable and in the best interest of the community. I need to ask for a motion to pass that resolution.
And that is one party, one defendant, a group of defendants.
Right.
And then there is a schedule. The total settlement is allocated to municipalities around the state based on a population allocation. And they take each municipality and they percentage it out. And our percentage,
Like 25,000.
yeah, that's our part, but our percentage is based on, an allocation of 0.252324639% allocation. And it's very similar to it's very similar to the rescue fund money, the way they allocated that. It's across the state, this is allocated the same way by all these participants. And so that's the way your funds are being paid. You know, Gunnersville City's like 0.33, so they got 33. We were 0.25, we got 25. And being the type of litigation it is, the attorney's fees, I can't tell you from this whether the attorney's fees are coming out of it, or already out of it, or they're being paid separate. But because of the type of litigation this is, the attorney's fees will be whatever the court approves, not just whatever it is. They'll be what the court approves. And if it's already taken out of that, our allocation will be the exact 25. If they're not, our allocation will be 25 less approved attorney's fees. So I looked at it and I told Randy my recommendation is just that we should approve it because that's a motion.
Second. All in favor? All right, if I got any other old business.
Oh, one other thing, since you mentioned demolition, over this past week, I've had several people ask me, and I just thought of this, about some houses and stuff. And so I would like to see if I could get an abatement board meeting scheduled so that we can.
I agree, and we need to go ahead and start the process of getting, because we have to have, Todd's been through 2 or 3 of these grants where we have to get landowners to sign off stating, you know, if we start getting that paperwork from NACOG, we can start that process before we get the abatement board on, where we can do what we gotta do for us, getting them all included.
I'll talk to Sandy about that tomorrow.
And we need to consider probably sewer building. Has anybody else got any other business? And I think Angie, I don't know if Angie's been keeping up. I know James may have been up to speed for us how we're coming along with our storm damage. Don and Mary and them's handling the pastime theater, Main Street, and Civic Center, and the museum down here. We're getting the roof replaced on the museum. Metal Roofing's replacing that with a what's the best word for that type of roof?
One of those rubber roofs.
Yeah, they don't call it rubberized roofing.
One of those vinyl type roof, flat.
And we're still not sure 100% that they're gonna 100% replace this roof on this.
Don talked to Miller Roofing again today. We had another leak this morning. Where Don came down last night after the rain, and we had more leaks in the civic center after they had patched some more yesterday. And so they're leaning now toward replacing the roof. So that's what we're hoping, that's what we've asked for.
Okay, and Angie would have had structural engineers with an antique mall building that the city owns, and they're going to repair that, raise that roof back up and build that wall and repair that building. So that's a plus to get that included and fixed in it. And the engineer's been meeting with the state and showed electric about getting our cantilever poles back to operational with their lights. So that's all in the works, getting
I'm
that
surprised
done.
we hadn't had some wrecks right there at the intersection.
We've been fortunate. It helped when they come back and added the signs. 'Cause
Yes.
people, when they got a green light, it was
Because
just
everybody
hammer
was
time.
used to when they got the green light.
It was just green one way.
You know, you
It
go
was hard to
in,
deal
you go
with.
straight and turn
Yeah.
whatever you wanted to.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, I gotta wait, gotta wait.
Our patrol cars, how many have we got still out? Still got them all out? What about the truck? Did they get the windshield for the truck?
Yes, I'm sorry, they got it back.
So we got 4 out.
Yes, sir.
They're at different body shops, which they have already sent the money, I think, to have those fixed.
I went by and checked on all of them this week, and they're all in progression, so should have them back pretty soon.
We've actually been paid for them all except for one. And it's in the mail.
So I think if there's any other business, we've been pretty fortunate with our insurance company stepping up and working with us and being very, supportive of trying to help us get things back to normal. I don't know where we're at on this tower. Do you know where we're at on the tower out here, Brett?
Waiting on an estimate.
An estimate.
Supposed to have it Monday, Mayor.
We're gonna put it back in the same place.
Yes, sir.
We got several lights out. All this lighting's out down here, and we've had several visits from Montgomery officials. When I say officials, when it comes to electrical division in Montgomery with the state, and then the general contractors and different things. And of course, we all know we lost our electrician that we had in Winfield. We're having to. That's going to be a little bit of a setback for us. Having a license, we're going to have a licensed person to do these repairs that we've got for the electrical and different things, which we probably, get shows or stone, one of them, to help get these lights back on down this way here. And I don't know that that's an insurance issue right now, is it? I think we're already to the point where we can go ahead and have that, start having those replaced. Mary, we're gonna have to order those decorative lights back.
Don and I and Tammy this afternoon, we'll have you a total list tomorrow of everything that's gone.
And
we'll
and those are part of the claim. They're specifically in our policy, and as soon as I get those.
We just want to check it one more time to be sure we've accounted for everything.
I'd just like to get that part back up and going, because it still looks bad, especially with the big trees going up there now, and it's just wide open. It's like, you've seen that something's happened. especially when it's dark. We need to get that situated. And Miller's been here, they've been here every day since the storm hit, I believe, doing something on roofs. I know Boyd done got one roof completely replaced down here on the McKinney orthodontist building, that building on the end. He's got that roof, I think, already. I think they're completed that roof. I don't know who Jason's using, but they didn't. They must have declared his building structurally sound because they're putting the roof back on that building. Johnny's having a little trouble with his insurance company up here on his, getting to an agreement to where they can start back rebuilding his place. But I think we're still fortunate that everything's kind of moving right along like it should. I don't guess if nobody else has got any other old business, we'll go down and ask for a motion to pay the bills if nobody's got a question on what bills is in there to be paid. Is this for everybody? While they're looking over the accounts payable, they got open house at the Northwest Regional Health, is what they're calling it, Northwest Regional Health on 1530 US Highway, Winfield. It's a Northwest Regional Health System, a member of the UAB Health. It's going to be Thursday, January the 27th from 3 to 5. They'll be highlighting the UAB e-medicine services, new ICU, the new emergency department coming in 2023, new specialty clinic service, and other new services at the hospital. So anybody that has a concern, kind of see what's going on up there, might want to go to that open house January the 27th. I'm going to give you a motion to pay the bills. James, Gina, second, all in favor? All right, if,
Motion.
if nobody's got nothing else, I need to ask for a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor? Thank y'all for coming. Stay safe, don't get sick.
When you gear up and journey out, nothing but you and the wilderness for miles. Just remember, you're the boss. Steel MS-271 Farm Boss, built for the toughest jobs. Journey onward.
State Bank and Trust has been invested in Winfield and Marion County for more than a century, and today we remain deeply committed to meeting the needs of local families and businesses with excellent financial products and friendly down-home service.
But more than that, we're dedicated to supporting the growth, success, and well-being of our community as a whole. Because when it comes right down to it, there's nothing more important than community.
And just like our outstanding city officials, police, and fire departments, you can count on State Bank and Trust to help make Winfield and Marion County a great place to live for everyone who calls this area home.